We used to have a society of like men that were raised to be the next Julius Caesar, to be the next Alexander the Great. Now we have a nation of wage slaves, and we have men who have feminine ways and feminine traits. You know, we got the person or the office person that wakes up and they go to their office or go to their corporation. They take orders, they take bull crap by somebody else who's, you know, pretty feminine and soft and hasn't really been through nothing in life, and they're just comfy in their position of being a nice little slave in a cage. And we just have to accept that as a reality. It does something to your spirit when you want to be successful and you're motivated by your talents and your attributes, but you're held back by a world that has a system of oppression, a system that's aimed to disable you. Then you got to deal with people. People are the number one problem with this world. And I'm not just talking about the elites. You know, when you're in a certain economic position, you know, it's like rats at the bottom of a barrel. What's that old adage, crabs in a barrel mentality, where they're trying to escape. You're trying to get to another plateau of existence, yet others are stuck in a mindset of just accepting modern day slavery, just accepting it, not thinking about dreams and ambitions, not believing in themselves or believing in their talents, not staying true to their soul. You're going to go through this world with so much agony and pain, and it's going to drive you insane. Then you got to deal with how life will try to change you. You know, this may sound weird, but I find myself being envious of my younger self, if that makes any sense. Envious of that youth, envious of that jubilance, envious of that aspirations for creation, that dream, and actually believing it can happen. When I was young, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to make it in what I wanted to make it in. I truly believed it, and to not actually make it, and then now be homeless, looking for a 9 to 5, and then a place to stay. It's like this can all been avoided if I would have just been blessed to have the right people around me. So I don't know if this entity that's an enemy that drove me to insanity and this evil calamity, I just never had the right circumstances line up for me where people who have power and connections can actually meet up with me. And it just seems at times that whatever created this realm created a hell realm, created this world for pure torture and agony. That's what it seems like. It doesn't seem like this world wants you to be happy. I don't know if you guys watch Benedictine Truth, but he speaks a lot on this, and I think Paulie Walnuts talks about this. I remember his channel was first like coming up. He blew up fast and quick. You know what I mean? He blew up even faster than I ever could imagine. Even in my channel. I think I started at the beginning January 2024, and I think Paulie Walnuts he started December. And now he's one of the biggest people in this space. And I think he commented on my channel before. I think maybe he had like a couple of thousand subscribers or something like that, if I remember. It's been so much shit went on in my mind, I don't even remember, but I think so. So I think he knows who I am as well. Like a lot of these bigger YouTubers know who I am, which is crazy. There's people that have over 100,000 subscribers that, you're not going to see them commenting all the time or even at all. You know what I mean? Especially in this new channel, but they'll email me and we'll talk. And they'll be like, man, you one of the realest. Your channel should be way bigger, but you got the word BP in your name, and that kind of like messes with the YouTube algorithm and all that. But this whole world we're in is designed to break your mind and waste your time, honestly. Because if you're not doing, like, what's the point of life if you can't do what you want and you can't do things that make you happy, that make you want to live and make you want to survive and make you want to actually realize your truest potential? What's the point of living if you're going to be trapped in an eternal prison? What's the point of being in existence if you're just going to be tortured? You're tortured because you're ugly. You're tortured because you're a certain skin color configuration. You're tortured because you're short. You're tortured because people around you. You're tortured because maybe, your dad is not connected with people that can get you, like, they have a lot of money. And this other person's dad, you see them when they turn 16 years old. They get a car, they get a birthday party, and and fellatio with a high ratio on a boat from a pretty female, and there you are left out in the cold and isolation and desolation and trapped in this internal infernal hatred. You know, a lot of guys are facing all types of pain and agony, and it's insanity that we have to go through this. And there's no type of help, no type of medical procedure that can be done that can change, the painful experiences you've been through. You see, your past dictates your future a lot of times. And I'm envious of our old self just 3 years ago in 2021, 2020. Even when everybody was getting the Krabby Pat, the Krabby Krabby with the Jabby Jabby and the Krabby Patty, I never got it, and I'm healthy as an ox, But at the time, I had my grandmother. I had some sense of stability. I never had financial stabilization because I was chasing a dream. I was chasing something that I believe once I made it, it would have solved all my problems. How come if there's a good being out there, it seen me, it knew I put the time, the hard work in, and the effort. How come it didn't, reward me with having the right people around me that like me and will support me and care about what I bring to the table talent wise? It just makes no sense that Trippie Redd is famous. And no, this is no disrespect. Playboy Cardi doesn't give a damn about his fans, you know, and all these other people who made it. And then they paint their nails and they just do weird feminine type shit. I'm like, these are the rappers today. These are the people look up to. They haven't went through shit in life. They never faced poverty and homelessness. They had places where they could record for free. People brought them in with the top engineers and they didn't have to pay $1. And they didn't have a 9 to 5. Most of these rappers nowadays, they never worked a 9 to 5. Or they never, they had people that they just have, like, the universe just lined it up for them where they can just make their music in peace and sanctuary, and they can just make hit records and have an engineer go in there and make it sound good. All the shit that you hear is just me on a broken laptop. That's why the quality's not the best. If I had a proper engineer and the proper people around me and a proper mindset and a proper home and the proper food in my gut, I don't got no motherfucking money right now. I'm pretty much hungry. And then the EBT and shit's not coming. So I gotta find a way to eat. So I'm opening up a Patreon. I'm gonna do a Fiverr, and if anybody want to buy melodies, email me. I'll sell some melodies, and I'm just trying to get some food to eat. And then I gotta focus on finding a 9 to 5, and then getting out of the place that I'm in now to go find another place of living. Basically, try to get my own apartment, and then they need a certain amount of rent for your first apartment and all this other shit. It's just they make it, and what's crazy is people can make it harder for you than what it needs to be. If I was in a good location now, I'd be able to focus, give me a good 9 to 5, and focus, and build something. But it's just, you know, certain people just hate you for no reason, man. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't change them. All you can do is just get away from them and focus on building your own self and your own life. You know, that's the way it is, man. But nothing I can say, nothing I can do. Just gotta keep on going on, you know what I mean? Like the soldiers of Stalingrad, but anyway, I just wish that all of us in this position can get money for our talents and attributes so we could actually get out this hole we're in, because we deserve to be happy, man. If you've been going through it your whole life, or you've been going through poverty, you've been going through people talking shit about you that don't know you, and even going through it for years and not having that girl you wanted in your life, random strangers messing with you on the street, or just feeling negativity everywhere you go, negativity and hostility, and never know good viability. You may have the ability to actually create something, to make something of yourself. It's like, it sucks being around people who don't see your vision or don't understand it. See, no one understands the vision when you're imprisoned financially. Everybody's just, oh, he's a loser and a failure. But it's like, yeah, he's a loser and a failure in your eyes. But a lot of that's insecurities and self-projections and reflections, because you may be a loser in this person's eyes, but you go around this person and you showcase your talent, they see gold. If Taz Taylor were to hear me really spit at my fullest potential, you know, he could probably change my life overnight. I'll go from having nothing to having everything I ever dreamed. Girl, car, house, and finally a chance to heal my mind from all the shit that robbed me blind. It should be a crime to go through all this pain and agony. What being would create this? Constant death and constant destruction. And those who are corrupted get the rise to the top. Those who have good souls and good hearts, they get stepped on in this world. That just seems like an upside down dimension. I feel like we're actually in hell right now, but just on a higher level. Why? Because look around. Look at your life right now. Are you really satisfied with yourself? Are you? Do you think you've done all you could possibly do to accomplish great things in life? Do you think you possibly can? Do you have the girl that you really, really, really want? Do you have the money that you really, really want? Do you have the house you really want? Do you have the car you really want? Do you have all your dreams accomplished? And if the answer is no, then that's a hell. Because you're yearning for something you can never have. You want to escape, but you can't. Isn't that not hell? When you're burning in flames and being tortured by giant worms and eaten by snakes and getting tortured by demons and devils in Tartarus with evil spirits that are banished to the shadow realm. And you want to escape that, but you can't. So you want to escape poverty, but this world is not letting you do it, no matter what. And then certain people are just born with a golden spoon in their hand, not a silver spoon, a golden spoon. And they're able to accomplish so much because they have the right people around them. They have a team. They got love. They got the love of a good woman in their life. They don't got people constantly trying to constantly hate them. I got to deal with a lot of shit. I got random people online who are obsessed. I don't know these people. I never talked to them a day in my life, but they seem to be listening to every video I make and want to know all about me, which is weird. It's like they almost treat me like I'm a celebrity. Not even Paulie Walnuts deals with that, and he's bigger than like me. I didn't mean way bigger than I ever was in my zenith, in my prime. But they don't treat Paulie Walnuts like that. They're not going trying to find his name and trying to dox him, but they pick on me. I wish I could meet these guys who dox me in real life. I wish I could meet them, but they're going to hide and say they didn't do it and this, that, and the third. So there's no point, But I wish we all could make it in this sci-fi Stalingrad, in this world of corruption and destruction. It's over if you lose hope, so never lose hope, But also, coping gets tiring as well, especially when you're trapped in the flames of hell, dreaming that one day you will prevail, but your life still remains stale.